Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Hello Dave. Let's dive right into the news, and as always we're going to start with the Terra-Ex update, our in-game faction. We've been working over the last couple of weeks towards our next expansion, and that expansion has now been triggered. We're going to expand out of the system Reedcrot, and the exact target, we do of course have a target in mind. Since these things are super delicate, we often don't announce publicly what targets we are aiming for, as if we have somebody who wants to work against us, they can easily go in and spoil the plans. As these kind of expansions, they are super delicate. So that means over the next over the next week, you probably expect to see a lot of small fine-tuning. Orders may change from day to day, and they may even change within the days if things happen. But we're trying to really just get everything in line to get that expansion here in about a week's time. Of course, we hope to get to our target systems, but there is always the chance that we're going to do a misjump and in another system. And well, if we do a misjump, then it's really difficult to predict where we're going to end. And this often leads to a lot of diplomatic issues that you have to deal with as well, because there's a good chance that we're going to expand into a system with an already existing player faction in it. And while in the majority of cases, people, they also know PGS, so they know how finicky these expansions can be, and they understand that, of course, we have no intentions of taking over their systems. In those situations, we'll, of course, contact the people if we manage to go into their system and say, hey, we're not here, we're not hostile. You can go ahead and just kick us out of the system. And right away, if you don't want us there, you can keep us. Basically, we're just going to not do any PGS in that system. We're going to leave it up to the system owner to decide what they want to do. Now, last week, I mentioned the community goal from last week, and I actually put in the title of that section that I wanted to talk about the new FSD, but I completely forgot to talk about the new FSD. So I talked about everything else, but not the new frameshift drives. So I'm going to do this now instead. And thanks a lot to you guys, by the way, for pointing it out in the comments, because otherwise I probably would have forgot completely. But as a reward for the last week's community goal, there was the option to get a total of 3 new double-engineered frameshift drives. These are engineered just as with the other one, with faster boot sequence and longer range, just as the one we have for 5As that we already exist in the game. And this time we could get them at a level 3, 4, and 6. Now, level 6 one is super interesting, actually the 4 too, but the 6 is interesting because that goes on Anaconda. That's going to push the Anaconda up to, I think you can push it over 90 now. You can do some really long range jumping now with the Anaconda, but the 4 is also interesting as it's going to fit on stuff like I got to put at least one on my Dolphin, and I believe maybe it's the Diamondback. Is that a 4 or 5? Just had to look it up, and that is a 5. But at least on the Dolphin you get a 4, which is one of my favorite ships lately. I've been flying the Dolphin a lot, so getting a better frameshift drive on that is super cool. Now, if you didn't manage to get your hands on one of these frameshift drives doing the community goal, don't worry, they will most likely be made available in-game. I haven't been in checking actually if they already are available. I don't think they are. Well, at least what happened with the last one was they were made available through a reward for the community goal, and then later on there was another community goal to make them a unlockable module through the material trader, not the materials trader, the tech broker. So if they're not available already, then I would expect that you're going to be able to go in, and we got to get them at some point in the future. So don't worry if you don't have them already. You will most likely be able to get your hands on those in the not too distant future. Moving over to Star Citizen, it is of course very exciting times in Star Citizen at this moment. We just had update 3.15 go live. That is of course with the medical gameplay and the new inventory system that's been added to the game. Patch 3.15.1 is already in PTU, is being tested right now. There's some stability things, some other things going on there. And it should be out before Friday, where we're going to have this year's Intergalactic Aerospace Expo going on out in Microtech. Also, one of the things actually in 3.15.1 is they're going to add volumetric clouds to Microtech. My latest live stream, I went out and took a look at those, and they're absolutely gorgeous. Like flying around between the clouds in the sunset over Microtech is beautiful. It's absolutely wonderful. With the expo, of course, is also the free fly event. That means you can go ahead and play Star Citizen for free. So if you haven't picked up the game yet and you're considering to pick it up, then from Friday and going, I think, for the rest of the month, you can play for free. All you have to do is you have to go in and create an account. And if you use the link in the description, getstarcitizen.d2a.com, you get twice the starting credit. And if you decide to buy the game, before the end of the month, you also get an Argo Cargo as a bonus ship on top of the starter ship that you get as part of your starter pack. The free fly event's going to work that there is a new expo center, we have seen this before, there's an expo center out at Microtech, and every day one or more ship manufacturers is going to have ships on display. So I think one of the first days it is it Aegis, that's one of the first ones that's going to be put on display, I think. So they're going to have all their ships on display in the display halls. You can go, you can look around inside the ships. You can basically, like if it was a real trade show, you can go ahead and you can look at them, and you can also rent the ships for free, I believe, where you can then get the ships for 2 days, every ship you want. Just get them for 2 days, fly them around, see if there's something for you, play around with them. So even if you're an existing player, it's a good chance to go out there and find your favorite ship that you may want to buy in the future to see if it's actually something for you. And then every day they're going to change what manufacturers are on display. So every day you can come back and there's going to be some new ships on display you can go and explore. It is an absolutely wonderful time. Now, it's usually doing these events because there's a lot more players playing during these events, and we also, right after a major update, we'll see how stable the servers is going to be with the increased load from more players and the fact that we are right at the beginning of a new major patch. It often takes a bit of time before they manage to stabilize and iron out all the bugs and instabilities, but we'll see how stable it is. At least these free fly events have a tendency to see more instabilities server side than we usually do outside these events, which is a bit of a shame, as this is really the time where the game is being shown off to potential new players. Outside of the game, there is also some very interesting news in Star Citizen, and that is that CIG is hiring 1,400 new staff. That's a lot of people, and I think the way I've understood this, the plan with this, is what they've been doing over the last years is they've been building up the core tech. They've been building up the volumetric cloud, which is the largest addition. They've been building up all the planet tech that they needed, all the tools they need to manufacture planets. And that's also why we've seen the Stanton systems over these years had planets added to them, then removed. We have seen stations and moons disappear and being added. This has all been tests where they've been testing various part of this toolbox that they're going to need in order to build systems. So what I think is going to happen now is that with all these people that are going to on board, they are going to begin to build out the new systems. We already know that Pyro is the next system that's going to be added. Because if you look at what other space games are doing, if you look at Elite, if you look at No Man's Sky, they are procedurally generating billions and billions of star systems. And I think what CIG is trying to do here is they're trying to avoid that critique that a lot of other space games get, with them being like miles wide but inch deep, where there might be billions and billions of star systems, but the majority of them has nothing in them. They're just generic generated planets. So that what they're trying to do is, I think they're going to make the planets more handcrafted than what you would see in other games. That doesn't mean that they're going to handcraft every single rock on the surface. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of it that's going to be procedural, but I think there's going to be a lot of handcrafted sites around it, hopefully to make it feel more, to make a little bit more sense, to feel a little bit more natural. And there's going to be some more interesting features on the planets that you probably wouldn't get if you were 100% procedurally generated. The downside of this method, of course, is it does require, well, a lot of people, because it is a lot of work if you want to handcraft planets and moons for that many systems. And I think the final system count planned for Star Citizen, when it's like done, is going to be around 100 systems. And while that, of course, is a small number compared to what you have in other games, I would much rather have 100 well-crafted systems than a billion systems that is just the same planets over and over again. Finally, I just quickly want to talk about the live stream tomorrow, which is going to be quite a different type of live stream, as we are not going to be playing computer games. I was recently sent by a viewer. I actually haven't talked to him if you want his name shouted out. So a viewer, for now, he reached out to me and said, hey, there is this Lego kit of Elite Dangerous ships, and he wanted to send me the bricks needed to build it. And I'll have those bricks, and that means during the live stream tomorrow, we're going to be building a Elite Dangerous ship. I'm not going to spoil which one it is. You'll have to come by the live stream, and you can guess along as we're building, see if you can guess what ship we're going to be building. I'm going to be trying to set up an overhead camera so it's a little bit easier for you to see what's going on, so I don't have to sit and hold everything up in front of the camera. And then we're going to be building some Lego, and we're going to be making a ship from Elite Dangerous. I've been looking into it. There's a lot of different models, both from Elite and from Star Citizen. So if this is something that you guys like, if it's fun to watch, then I might be getting more of these sets in the future, and we can build bigger models and other ships, maybe make a poll, see what kind of ships we want to build in the future. But at least we're going to give that a try tomorrow and do a Lego building live stream. But anyway, as always, it is going to be 8 o'clock in-game time, and it's going to be live streamed on YouTube as well as on Twitch. That's it for today. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in space.